And then I'm going to pull up the website for us too. So everybody, if you have, you're welcome to look at it as well. And then Maurice, here's the link you can pass on to everybody too. This is the YouTube link, and we can post it to what do you call it? You could post it to the group for the WhatsApp. It's in the WhatsApp as well. So just want to make sure everybody has access to join us. If they want, if they can use YouTube, here's the link. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to the classical teaching math classical workshop. In this training, we're focused on helping families to help their children. The thing about mathematics, well, I should probably introduce myself. I know there's some new people here today, so let's do that first. Um, my video should be good. Okay, so my name is Amos Tarfa. I'm a math and science curriculum writer and a medical physicist. I have taught mathematics in one way or the other for about 20 years. I'm married to Stephanie, and we're based in the state called Wyoming, which is near Colorado in the United States. We have 7 children, we thank God, and I am a Christian apologist as well. I believe that God created the heavens and the earth, God made the world, and the more we study the world that God has made, right, we notice certain things. And I believe that we need to redeem mathematics. Mathematics, I think, has been hijacked. I call it mathematics education. What do I mean by it has been hijacked? It has been reduced to just a tool without us spending time reflecting on its uniqueness and beauty. Math is beautiful, and we need to emphasize that every day because it's true. But a lot of children hate maths. A lot of children think they're not good at it. But the problem is, if you were to teach mathematics in the same way that you taught anything else to anybody, they would probably hate that thing, as I told them in the last webinar. Now, why would they hate that thing? They would hate that thing because you're letting them move to the next level when they've not mastered the previous level. So, what is mastery in mathematics? What does mastery look like? If a child cannot explain back to you what they have learned, they have not mastered it enough. What I mean is that the best way to know that you've learned something is that you've mastered, that you can explain it to somebody else. That is the best way to know, I think I have mastered this thing. So what I want to encourage parents and teachers on the call is we really need to stop rushing through topics and focus on depth of understanding. All the teachers in a school need to be talking to one another. All the math teachers, everybody needs to know where the child is headed, and then they all work to help that child reach their full potential. So, for example, if a primary 4 teacher is not talking to the primary 6 teacher, if a teacher who's teaching the 10-year-olds is not talking to the teacher who's teaching the 14-year-olds, there's going to be a disconnection in communication. But if all of them are talking to one another, then it becomes easier for us to know when a child gets stuck. So I just want to encourage the schools that are represented here to really create a culture in your school of collaboration and community amongst your instructors, amongst the educators at your school. So what is unique about mastery and about classical education and so on? Well, the beauty of learning through classical learning, as we're going to be looking at here, is we're learning from some of the best mathematicians who've ever lived. We're going back in history and we're studying what they're doing. Somebody asked me a question on the last call. How do you know that your method, like, do you think that the way we've taught math is wrong? And do you think that, like, how do you know that your method will work? Well, let me answer the question in 2 parts. The first part, do I think that we've taught math wrong? Again, I'm saying this in love, and I'm just also speaking with a lot of urgency because there's actually no time. We have to take action now. Is the way that math is taught in most of the world wrong? The answer is yes. Even in places where you have some students that are good. The reason why it's not good is because the methods we use a lot of the time are not favoring the majority, not because we just have to favor the majority for majority's sake, but it's because it doesn't make sense to allow a child who scored a 75 on fractions to do algebra. It doesn't make any sense, but the system allows the child to go forward. See, the problem is not the teachers fundamentally. The problem is the system. The system is too broken. And in some ways, my advice is some of that just needs to be thrown out and we need to get a new system. So then, Mr. Amos, how do you know your system will work? And here's my answer. It's not my system, and it already worked. It's the system that gave us Isaac Newton, Carl Friedrich Gauss, Leonard Euler, James Clerk Maxwell. We could go on and on. The best mathematicians who've ever lived, a lot of them lived before the 1850s. Isn't that interesting? Like, think about that. The best mathematicians who ever lived, almost all of them lived before 1900. What happened around 1900? What happened around the 1850s? When the Industrial Revolution started taking off, our education system also got influenced by the Industrial Revolution. And now we have an Industrial Revolution education system. And honestly, it's time for it to go. It's not the best way to go. And what is the Industrial Revolution education system? It's like you're arranging children in lines like they're robots, and you have expectations as though they're just robots. Instead of asking the question, have you mastered the topic? Mastery is what matters, not grade levels and not age. That was the way the best mathematicians learned. So Amos, how do you know your method will work? Because that was what gave us the best mathematicians. We're just going back and doing what we used to do. That worked. I understand that a lot of schools cannot just change overnight. I get it. But we have to start praying, working, and doing everything we can to go back to the old ways, because those old ways gave us top mathematicians. So that is kind of the framework that we're bringing, is go back to the best, learn from the best, inspire our students today to become the best they can be, ultimately for the glory of God. So let's now go to my website. I'm going to show us my website. And there's a feature on my website that I think you guys will find very interesting. So on the website, which is countingtocalculus.online, there's a section that I want to highlight today. So let me just log in and I will show you all in a second. It's just loading. And then I'll share my screen and we'll show you some of what we have going on here. Okay, so if you go to countingtocalculus.online, let me put it in the chat. I'll show us some of the features because this is connected to what we're trying to do with classical education. So Counting to Calculus is heavy on the classical education strategy. So I'm going to send this to everyone. So everyone should have access. Okay, let's go back to share our screen and start share and specific app. Okay, so here we go. We're going back to this one. Okay, so I just went on google.com, went on here, and I logged into the Counting to Calculus website. So the first thing you will notice here is the first time you log in, it's going to ask you some questions, like what is 8 times 7, right? The idea is that you're trying to show how well your math skills are, right? And I'm just going to choose random answers. Some of these I'm going to put right, some of them I'm going to put wrong. And I'm going to say next question. What is the prime factorization of 36? Again, I'm going to answer and I'm just going to put next. But because of time, I'm actually going to intentionally just answer. I'm going to choose random answers, okay? And the idea is, I'm not even looking at the question. The point is, I just want to get you to the end of the brief assessment. So you could say, I've not mastered this topic. You could do some problems if you can. However you want to do it, what is the domain? You're going to pick just whatever works, whatever you think the answer is. Let's see, 2 raised to the power 6, power 5. Okay, we're going to go with, let me see. Okay, we're going to go with that. Next question. Again, I'm just choosing some of these as random answers. And I want to show you what it does. The first thing it does. First of all, some students, when they do these assessments, they say to themselves, why didn't I get 100%? Well, it's like, you shouldn't expect to get 100%, right? It analyzes the results, and then here's what it says. You got 27%. Assessment is complete. Keep growing, right? And then you say, okay, I want to, let's see, let's go back, go to my learning dashboard. And this is one of the coolest parts of the app. Do you see what it does right away? It shows you where you are on your journey. It says, based on those results, you got to keep climbing. Every great journey begins with a single step. Welcome to base camp, right? Because I chose a lot of wrong answers, I'm going to be at the base camp, right? Counting and place value. And then it tells you about the mathematician of the day, Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton invented calculus around 1666, and he used it to prove Kepler's laws and derive universal gravitation. He's famous for saying, if I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. We are trying to get people to be inspired by these people. And then there's a daily challenge, and then there's no streak because this is the first time. And then there's the topics that you've mastered, the topics you're learning, how much time have you spent? So notice it gives you all of that, and then it says, here's the first topic you need to learn, introduction to whole numbers. We have to start from scratch, right? And so you can say, okay, let's start from introduction to whole numbers. It'll generate a lesson. It takes about a second. We also have videos that people can watch. It asks you questions like which of the following is a whole number, right? You answer the question and you basically get feedback. Now, let me say something about this website and the reason why I came here. The reason why I came here was actually to show you the mastery, because this is the most important. You guys remember when I took the diagnostic? When I took the diagnostic, I chose some questions right and I chose some, and I made some wrong. And there's this thing called a math mastery tracker, which is something we've been trying to build for years. And now we have it. We thank God it's here and we can use it. And what I want you to learn is this. Look at the part that says download my notes. One of the reasons that technology does not work when it comes to like education, because there's a lot of people that will tell you that the devices are a problem, and they are in many cases a problem, yes. But when you have a child or a non-traditional learner that wants to learn mathematics, what I would encourage you to do is to get a book that you show all your work. And so my website allows students, first of all, it takes you from pre-kindergarten. So I have lessons that teachers, right? This is something teachers can use. They can literally look at the lesson plans from pre-K all the way, I'm going to go fast, all the way to calculus. Look at that, right? So every teacher in every country now has access to every topic from counting to calculus on the website, right? Now, this part of the website is a paid feature, but the diagnostic tests are free. Now, the reason why I bring this up, if you want to demo this for your school, of course, let me know. I'll give you access. But if you look at the right side, I want to show you something that is very important in mathematics. So let's say, I was learning whole numbers after I took that test. So let's say I haven't mastered it, right? I click on it and it changes to in progress. But if a student wants to say, I've mastered it, guess what it's going to tell them? Please upload your work first. So what that means is that before this can change to mastered, the student needs to click on the paper clip on the right, and they need to upload their work. Does that make sense? They have to upload their work in order for the topic to change to mastered. If the student wants more practice problems, they can just click on generate practice problems, and the website will generate practice problems. So teachers and parents, imagine you have access to an infinite number of practice problems. I mean, you don't need an infinite number, but it's pretty much like you can generate as many problems as you want, right? So it's generating a worksheet from scratch. And we also are going to upload PDFs, so it's not always going to generate, but it will generate it, and then you say, let's see. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go back. Okay. Can you guys still see my screen okay?
Yes, I can see the screen.
Perfect. So notice the worksheet is right here. So imagine you can generate any worksheet for any topic at any time. Why is this important? Well, first of all, one of the most important things in math is examples. So these worksheets will give you practice, but if you want detailed examples, we have them for you as well. These worksheets will also give you solutions, right? and you can use it to help your children, and teachers can use it in their classroom. So these are the printable worksheets for every topic that we teach kids. So the mastery tracker, let me just say a couple of things. The reason why, again, I'm happy to give this to all our teachers. Okay, this is available to all the teachers here for free. What I want teachers to realize is that one of the problems in math education is when a child goes to primary, let's go to grade 2. When a child goes to grade 2 and they're learning numbers from 1 to 1,000, okay, and it's going to allow me to click on mastered. So I've made the program allow for grade 1 to 5. You can change it from not mastered to in progress to mastered. So let's say the topic is numbers to 1,000, your place value, your hundreds, your tens, your ones, right? What we're doing is we're giving you a video for the lesson. We're giving you examples for the lesson. We're giving you practice. We're giving you solutions. Now, one of the things that is important is teachers, imagine this. Imagine a child goes from primary 2 and then they go to primary 3. And when they show up in primary 3, the new teacher tells the child, can you show me your mastery tracker results? So let's say they've mastered this also. What that child needs to do is they need to click on print. And what will end up happening is that, oh, give me 1 second. Sorry, let's go back. Let's see. Download report. That's what I meant. Download report. So imagine the child clicks on download report. And when you show up to your next class, right? This is just a random student I called SparkLearn. Imagine you show up to the next class and you show your teacher. This is what I've mastered. This is what I've not mastered. This is where I'm struggling. This is where I'm good at this. Does that make sense? And so then the teacher can look at all the topics and say, oh, you're struggling over here. We can't have you do this topic because you're going to struggle more. So one of the things that we need to do is to help every child know exactly where they are in the journey. And that's what's happening. We now have a way of tracking every single topic from the most basic to the most advanced, so that nobody is guessing exactly where a child is. And this precision will enable teachers not to waste their time. Some teachers are wasting their time. If a child doesn't know how to count, why are we trying to teach them addition of certain kinds? If a child doesn't know fractions, why are we trying to teach them algebra? They have to change all these to mastered before they do algebra, at least all the way to the pre-algebra, and then they'll be good to go. So I'm going to pause here and answer any questions that people might have about the mastery tracker, counting to calculus, classical mathematics, and any other ways that I can support teachers or parents. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to pause. Are there any questions, thoughts, comments, objections? Are we able to access the Q&A? I see there's no questions there. If you want to click on the Q&A, can you just tell us, please, where you're calling in from and maybe what grade level your children might be connected to? I know Mrs. Stella Palm is here. Thank you for joining us again. I know your students are all grade levels. But if anybody wants to just put it in the chat, what grade level are your students? And what questions maybe do you have, and what country are you calling or logging in from? Please feel free to put that in the Q&A. I'll pause for a second. And while I do that, I'm just going to re-share my screen while we wait for any questions or thoughts or comments. And maybe if somebody has access to the YouTube, feel free to check and see if there's any questions there as well. I do want to mention that under the resources, and there's another section that has this as well, we're going to be putting up booklets for everything, for all the concepts. And I did link my other website also that focuses on just arithmetic practice. And you can use that to practice addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, right? Depending on what skills you need to learn. So again, there's no, I think it was Euclid that said there's no royal road to geometry. There's no royal road to arithmetic. You have to practice, practice, practice. So we have a lot of practice for our families. Okay, let me go back and I will see if there's any questions. And the goal is to get every child to the mountain of calculus, I call it. No matter where they are in their journey, I want them to learn what it takes to go from counting to calculus. Okay, let me pause. Any other questions? Otherwise, as I said, we can wrap up early today.
Mr. Toffa, just a question that the audience might be having, and also that I have actually. So is this app free? Is it something that requires us to pay for? And also another question, well, once you are in the app, it seems to be that there are a lot of features there. Do you have like a tutorial on how to go through the app so that maybe we are not intimidated by it?
Well, first of all, I think Morris, you're gonna be. I'm gonna tap you for your help on the tutorials, right? I think you do an exceptional job there, and I would love to collaborate with others who want to help with the tutorial. For everybody on this call, and for the teachers and for the parents in our program, this app is free fully. For schools and students who want to use, just let's say a school calls and says we want to assess our students, there's a small fee for if they want everything for their students, right? We're talking about $5 for the whole year, for example, something very small per student, and they get all the results and everything they need. But I want you to know that for our tutors, again, and for those on this call, it's free to them. They just need to go on, sign in, get an account, email me, and then I'll unlock all the pieces for them. But the assessments are free, the diagnostics are free for everybody. That's all free. But if you want advanced features and also the community element of meeting with our staff, then you can pay a small fee to join that program. For those in Africa, the price, I believe, is $1 a month per student, and that gives you access to all the textbooks of all the grade levels and everything you need. So that's $1 a month, but if they sign up with their school, they can get it at a discounted rate. And of course, they pay in their own currency. So when they sign up in Kenya or Rwanda or Zambia, they're only there's a team that would coordinate from that country and tell them how to pay and stuff like that. But the diagnostics are free. I just want to be clear. That is one of the most important aspects of the app, and that is free. But go ahead, Morris, if there's any other questions.
It looks like there's not any other question from here unless any of our audience has. Otherwise, I think maybe we might want to wrap it up here.
Excellent. So I wanted to, today, one of my goals was to go way more practical than I have in the past, right? In the past, I talk about mastering mathematics, I talk about different things, but sometimes people didn't have anything tangible. And so today, I hope that you've seen a tangible tool that is embedding, classical Christian education, classical education into mathematics learning, so that when you're learning math, sometimes the lecture or the lesson is literally who was Isaac Newton. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. That allows you to be able to engage with some of the history. But I want to end with one more thing. Every student needs a notebook. Every student needs a notebook. I am not one of those people that thinks we should gamify learning excessively, and then kids are just answering questions on a screen, and then that's it, right? I want people to know that you can, think of it this way. Every student should have a notebook that keeps track of their learning from counting to calculus. I still have my notebooks till today. Till today, I still have my notebooks from secondary school. Why don't students have good notes? Now, I know that Mrs. Stella Palm students probably have good notes in Jos, Nigeria, but I'm talking about all across the world. Do all our students have good notes, and do they know how to study? And the answer to that, unfortunately, I think is not really. We need to teach them how to take notes and how to study. But that's where I'm going to land the plane today. I do see that the other group, there's a group that is meeting on another channel. I'm actually going to see if they want to use the Zoom here to carry on with their meeting, because I think theirs might have gone on and off. So let me stop there for now. And please email amosthemathguy@gmail.com if you have any questions. And we look forward to seeing you during next month's training. Please email me at amosthemathguy@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to share some free resources with you. I will send you the link that I gave Maurice earlier also for my book, Tools for Mastering Mathematics, and then we'll wrap it up for the day. So let me just give you that link, and then we'll close the Zoom room. Let's see. Where is it? Okay. So sorry. Let me just get the link. And those on YouTube, thanks for joining us. I'm also going to give you the link on YouTube. So here you go. Everybody has access to my book, Tools for Mastering Mathematics. It's in the chat. Please feel free to check it out. And then we'll see you in our session in July, God willing, the third Saturday of the month. So take care, everyone, and have a blessed day. I'm going to go ahead and log off here.